Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to present to you and formally introduce Bob, Cos, and Arthur, the Play No Games podcast.
It's your favorite podcast where we talk about real life and exchange a few laughs. We sticking to our path. When you find understanding, just know that will never last. We ain't here to play no games. The world is getting
What's poppin',
crazy.
you guys?
Now we
It's
know we
Cartier
gotta be
Bob,
with the change.
and I'm back here again with a special installment.
What's up, y'all? It's Tay Ford, and I happen to have the pleasure today of introducing one of our special guests today, Troy Douglas, a business owner, basketball expert, I guess I could say.
Fanatic.
We'll
take it down.
Yeah. No, what's up with you, bro?
Oh, appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, always.
Wow, welcome to the game.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Right,
sir.
Yeah, welcome to the games. Yeah.
Hey, bro. So I know I hit the chat and told you I want to bring on Troy just with he and I having a relationship, and then also him owning Back to the Basket and Cultural Blends. So did you know each other, or had you guys met before today?
No.
Nah, I don't think so.
No,
sir.
I haven't.
That's crazy.
Should I?
I mean, I would think so. I'm not gonna lie. As much as you be at Jackie's, I would think like at some point you
Oh
would.
yeah.
What did he try
you know
to
what I'm
say?
saying, bro? I'm retired.
Yeah, the only reason I say it because at the beginning of every basketball season, they always have some giveaway. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit salty when I didn't win these Travis Scotts like last year, but it is what it is.
Right. Yeah, we have a jersey party. We do one at the beginning of the year, and then like at the end, like
Oh,
during the playoffs.
okay. Look, see, now I've connected the dots.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the jersey party. That's the one.
Ah.
Yes, sir.
Even though this is not one of my questions, but what jersey would you rock at your own jersey party? I'm curious.
So the first one, I had a 33 Scottie Pippen because at the time I was 33. And Scottie Pippen, Portland Trail Blazers, Nike jersey. That's my guy.
Okay.
And then what I wear the other one? The second one I wore a Mike Bibby, signed Mike Bibby, Vancouver Grizzlies, number 10. You know, I always looked up to Mike Bibby when I was a kid. He had this short hair and all that.
Nice.
You know.
Now I know you're doing a lot in terms of businesses here locally, but are you from Portland?
Nah.
Okay. Where you from?
Born and raised in the suburbs, bro. Suburbs. I went to Lake Ridge High School. So I was in a small town in between Tualatin and Lake Oswego called River Grove. And that fed right into the Lake Oswego school district. So I definitely have that. You know what I mean? That has always been something that I never really talk about because it's like something that's like, it's just not cool to talk about. But I have a long story, and if if we get into that, we get into that. But if we don't, we don't. But yeah.
So, like, growing up in the metro area, let me ask you this. What was your first introduction to, like, basketball and just sneaker culture in general?
Absolutely. First and foremost is the Portland Trail Blazers. I mean, you know, my parents at the time, this is in the 90s. I'm 35. They had, for real.
Why you do that to my
Kevin Hart, yeah.
Troy, is this really your friend?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Blazer Vision. So that was on the cable box. So my parents had a cable box, and you had to go up and push the button all the way to 52. That was Blazer Vision on the cable box. And so every time we would get to Blazer Vision, it would go Blazer Vision, and I was locked in. Kenny Anderson, Arvydas Sabonis, J.R. Ryder, you know what I mean?
Damon.
Damon Stoudemire. And then, of course, you know, rolls into the 2000s. But I've been a Blazer fan since day one.
And then in terms of like sneakers, like when that start?
You know, that was something that I've always liked, but I've never really loved. You know what I mean? I'm not like a sneaker aficionado. I've always had Nikes. I've always had Jordans. You know, but it wasn't something that I was fully like. I wouldn't ever call myself a sneakerhead. First, it was too expensive. You know, I wasn't spending. You know, I didn't have any money. You know, even though I grew up over there, that's a long story, but it just was, my parents weren't good. I was a Payless kid. You know what I mean? K-Swiss was like the cool shoes at Payless, and that's what I was growing up with. But it was really more of a strategic business move. You know, when I opened up the shop, Cultural Blends at Lloyd Center, it was really all my own T-shirts and other designed products that, you know, I produced myself, designed and then manufactured locally. But we had to fill that whole space, bro. It was 1,200 square feet. And so we opened up, to make a very long story short, we opened up the entire wall to consignment, and we were consigning shoes because we noticed like that was what was bringing people in. And people weren't coming into the store without it. So it grew from one section to another section. And so it's like, it's not something that was new to me. It was just something that, you know, I took from like, okay, you know, I like shoes and I need to grow my business. So what can we do to, you know what I'm saying, make a change.
And what year was that when you started this show?
2018.
Okay. Oh, wow. I actually met you that same year when you first started. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I know Rob, unrelated, I know he probably was looking at me crazy because I would come up to the store when I was either having a lunch break or say I had like a meeting just around the area. I'm like, oh, let me just pop in the Lloyd, just see if I could grab something.
That's right.
And I used to always come in like button-up shirt, tie, trench coat, probably just because I feel like I was kind of overcompensating for my age and just like the space I worked in. Honestly,
You did.
Yeah.
Great trench coat. Great trench coat. I remember that.
humblest
Yeah, black
take.
tie.
Wow, you got some humble in you.
Yeah. I mean, I was putting that shit on regardless, but you know.
Okay,
Right.
there he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, I'm not even gonna lie. I know you're talking about your illustrious, glorious business, and I know we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
But I have a rule in interviews. Twice you talk about your upbringing, and I think just talk about that side, growing up in that area in Portland. I think the people got to hear that. If I'm
No,
being
so
super honest.
I'm gonna be real quick because it is a very long story. But
Yeah.
my mother, she's from the island of Guam,
Yeah.
and so she moved here in the early '80s. My father, he's Native American, and he's from Portland. You know, he went to David Douglas High School. They met somewhere out in Gresham. Boom, boom. Had my sister, had me.
Yeah.
To make a long story short, my dad does construction. He won a contract he was a private contractor, and he won a contract out somewhere in Lake Oswego where, you know, our house is. And he got a job, and what had happened was the dude that he was working for passed away, had no wife, no kids. And so what happened was he made some sort of deal with the bank on sweat equity that if he fixed the house, that he was able to buy it for a cheap price. So my parents bought the house for $70,000. We moved out there from Southeast Portland. Yeah. And then that's where I grew up.
Damn.
So, yeah, it's a long story, bro. It's like I don't like to tell people, you know what I mean, that I'm from Lake Oswego because it comes with a crazy stigma.
Yeah.
It comes with a crazy stigma, but my parents, bro, the hardest working parents, you know what I mean, like that I ever come across. So it's something that, like, you know, we don't hang our hats on being like kids that live on the lake. We were the kids on the outside, and I went to River Grove Elementary, and so I'm very proud of that. But as far as telling people where I come from, I always just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm forthcoming.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying it too. I almost, Rob, I wish Kaz was here because our third calls, he's from the West Side, and me and him, it's like healthy banter, but I always give him like
Oh,
shit.
for sure. Yeah.
I always give him shit like, all right, like you from the town, but you're not really from the town, and like I don't know, it's just one of those things. But
I seen what was it? Amine's post yesterday.
oh, bro,
the second slide.
I swear to God, I was so ready to tag him. And if I see Adam out,
I felt that,
bro, if I see Adam out, I'm gonna show him that because
Right.
me and Kaz, we actually had a back and forth in the comments because he was trying to tell me,
Yeah.
You know when.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was trying to tell me that she was more Portland than Adam. I was like, bro, like, that's all. There's no disrespect to her either, but like, come on, G, like, what you doing?
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, I only say this because I know Tay, well, it's going to put me back on the timeline. I'm going to be honest. I think, because that is right. When it comes to black and brown folks, we have that stigma of like, oh, but there are, because you talk about like, even, I don't even know, this is like new information for me, where it's like sweat equity, right? Or like putting that in. I think those are the stories that have to be talked about because we have this stigma, rightfully so. But at the end of the day, you got to see things we didn't.
Yeah.
And it's almost kind of like that hard work and determination it shouldn't go unnoticed because of where you like came from / the opportunities from what your parents did. And that's something you should be like super proud of.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not unaware of, like, there's probably extra resources. Not probably, there's extra resources. Yeah. I'm not unaware of those type of things, but I'm also like, I'm also very aware of it as far as like, my place in the world and how I can be effective towards, you know, the next generation and just people that, you know, people that look like, you know, people that look like us.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about sweat equity rather, and like hard work your dad had to do in order for you guys to have the home you had.
Yeah.
Can I ask, in terms of you being a business owner, when you first opened the flagship store at Lloyd, what were some of the growing pains you had to go through in terms of, you know, just, I mean, it's a huge venture to go out on. I'm not sure what you were doing before that, but, you know, that can be a huge transition because that's all your money, time, energy put into making this baby more or less work.
Yeah, bro. It was, man, the sweat equity as far as the time, I'm telling you, so what I was doing before that was I was having t-shirts printed and I was just hustling. I had, you know, I was living out on 82nd and Holgate, like right there. There was right across from Eastport Plaza was my garage. And so I was just selling t-shirts to friends and the word was getting out there and I was sending t-shirts to people that I thought, you know, had connections. To make a long story short, opening up that shop at Lloyd Center, bro, was the time it took, you know, because first and foremost at Lloyd Center back then, 2018, you had to be open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's 11 hours. You couldn't close that gate. Nowadays, people close the gates. You know what I mean? Like they can do their time. They can do whatever time they want. But back then, you had to be open during those work hours. And I didn't have any employees. So 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. I was there. So I was there before and I was there after. It was very long days. Just to get that thing started, it was crazy. And the very first day opened up November 23rd, 2018. And that was Black Friday. I was open from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. because 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. 24 hours. I was open for 24 hours because, you know, it was still Black Friday. And you know how Black Friday's declined. But back then I was still banking that, people were showing up. 2 people showed up. One set of customers and then another set of customers that followed me on Instagram. And so they bought something right at midnight and like 12:30. And then after that, no one showed up to 6 a.m. But I was still there. And then I just rolled over and, you know, did 24 hours straight. That was my first day. And then it really hasn't stopped since then.
Lord.
Yeah.
Legendary work ethic.
It was crazy, bro. I will be honest. For a couple years, I would say I don't know if there's anyone that worked harder than me for a couple years. Yeah,
that's fire.
It was crazy.
I ain't mad at that.
I got old, bro. I got old real fast, bro. I got real old.
That's fire. That's fire. No, just circling back a little bit, because I want to ask this. Growing up, like I know you mentioned, you know, Blazer Vision, watching the Blazers. Who was your favorite player to watch? And then if you had to do a player comp for yourself, who would it be?
Rasheed Wallace, of course. He had the most skills on the block, bro. He had the most skills on the block. He was a stretch four at the time. He could shoot it with his right hand. He could shoot it with his left hand. He could put it on the floor. You know, if Damon Stoudemire had the ball in his left hand, dribbling on the fast break, and he was going down the right side, you already know what was happening. It was a lob, and he was finishing. Player comp, you know, Damon Stoudemire's left-handed, but being 5'10", you know, and at the time when I was a kid, I was tiny. So, you know, that was probably the player comp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Word.
Tay hasn't heard this, and I know my listeners have heard this story, but I got to say this because you are another fellow Rasheed Wallace.
Come on.
I was so happy when he left because he needed that.
Oh,
ring.
yeah. Gotcha.
No, I was, because growing up, I met him 5 times. Each one of those each one of those times I met him, it was very empowering, and he always ended all our conversations. You don't have to play basketball. Like, go do something else.
Oh, good for yeah.
And I was kind of like, Rasheed Wallace, I'm getting a Papa Murphy's pizza. Why the fuck are you here?
Right.
Or meeting him twice at the Lloyd Center at the bottom, right? Where you meet the Max up to like left hand side, and like they were so impactful meetings to me. Yeah. And like when they were talking shit about Sheed, now I know he did some shit. Okay, I know he did some shit, but he was very uplifting for me. Yeah. I was very happy and proud of Rasheed.
Can I make I think this is really important to say, and I know Tay's probably gonna piggyback off this, but I really think the Jailblazers, you know what I mean, the whole stigma of the Jailblazers, the city of Portland needs to apologize to the Jailblazers for not necessarily all the antics, but at least for the cannabis use. Because if you look at every street corner in the city of Portland, there is a dispensary, but most of the Jailblazer like shit was just off of weed.
Yeah, for the
You know
most
what
part.
I mean? You got Ruben Patterson, with the nanny and stuff, and you have like Zebo with the fight with Ruben.
Yeah.
But like, so what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything else is just weed related.
For the most part.
The city
yeah.
of Portland needs an apology.
Yeah, especially now that we pretty much legalized everything underneath our kitchen sink.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
Right? The city of Portland needs to have an apology for the Jailblazers era. Like, bro, and you know what's so funny? Even, that's crazy to say, but even the Trailblazers, like when they do their eras and they talk about the 80s and 70s, 80s, 90s, bro, they leave out the 90s. It's only the early 90s. You know what I mean? They
for sure.
leave out Rashid a lot.
Yeah, they leave out the late
Yeah.
90s to mid 2000s. I'm not gonna lie, and there's no knock on anybody on the team now. That era of the Blazers, they felt way more accessible. Like I would see Rashid out.
For sure.
He would come to the Boys and Girls Club.
Zebo.
I mean, Stud is kind of weird. Just I shouldn't say weird, but he's from here, so it's kind of an expectation. And I'll just see him out at parks, cookouts, this, that, and third. But Derek Anderson, Scotty, he would still be out every once in a while. Bonzi, I would see him out as a kid.
Yes.
So it's like Jermaine's another one. I mean, I was a little younger, but yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's actually gonna be a clip,
Bro, it's
Damn,
real.
That's hot. That's not even
should
a hot
have
take.
happened, bro.
Yeah, no,
it should have
sure.
happened, bro. That's especially 2016 when all the weed stuff started coming out.
Yeah.
Bro, there needs to be an apology for the cannabis part of it, and that was a huge part of it.
Now let me ask you this: still on basketball, would you say you prefer and this is probably as you're about to enter high school, like the middle school about to enter high school, the early 2000s, mid 2000s era of basketball, or today's style of play?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The early mid 2000s is a weird era. Post Jordan is a weird era. That's a weird era. Bro, that's a great question. Because if we go late 90s versus today, you already know.
Yeah.
But mid 2000s, bro. Ooh, that's like right. So Brandon Roy got here 06. Mid 2000s or today, that's tough, bro. I would say.
Or you could take it back to the 90s if you want to.
Oh, for the 90s, for sure. That's no question. That's no question. But the 2000s is actually a really good comparison. I would say, bro, I would prefer, and this is gonna sound crazy, I would probably prefer watching today's game because there is more of a polish. The mid 2000s was a weird time of people. It was like adolescence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just probably prefer to watch today's game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I say the same thing. People look at me crazy. I don't necessarily enjoy the flow of games. I think they rely too heavily on 3-point shooting. And honestly, Jokic is somebody I love watching play because I feel as though he's one of the few stars in the league. If I told him he only had 3 dribbles per possession, he could still function and do what he does. Where a lot of guys, it's hezzy 20. Yeah. Like, all right, I can't figure this guy out. Let me get a ball screen real quick. Right. Hezzy tween, step back.
Right.
Whatever.
Let me bring it back out and let me get some, let me go downhill real quick.
Yeah.
Bop, bop, bop.
Exactly. But that mid 2000s era of basketball got real nasty.
Yeah.
It was just.
It's still fun.
Yeah. It was just terrible spacing.
Yeah. I think of Ricky Davis.
Exactly, bro.
I think
And
of
just
Ricky
Chucks.
Davis.
It was a whole bunch of Chucks in the league. Jerry Stackhouse. I was so surprised when I got older and was able to actually look at his shooting splits. Like, bro, he would be shooting like 38% from the field, and he was like 6'7", 6'8".
Right, not good.
Yeah,
not
Stackhouse.
No, I know.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was just
He
surprising.
averaged 20 in 03, which is crazy. He was leading like 22 actually.
No, he averaged. Oh yeah, no, he averaged 30. I think damn near 1 year. I think it was his last year. It was either his last year in Detroit or his first year in Washington.
It was probably that 99 season when he was on the slam dunk.
Yeah,
99 2000.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Probably,
yeah.
That's crazy. You're regurgitating these facts.
Bro, I'm just like, when it comes to basketball, and when I was a kid, I used to love history. So like anything that's like can be like set in like chronological order. Like I could probably go back all the way to 77 and tell you every MVP.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, he's got to do it, right? You got to do it now.
We'll see how many you go. We'll see until he breaks. Let's go. How many MVPs?
All right. 2024, Jokic. 2023, Embiid. 2022 and 2021 was both Jokic. 2020 and 2019 were both Giannis. 2018 was James Harden. 2017 was Russell Westbrook. 2016 and 2015 was Steph. 2014 was KD. Bron went back-to-back in 12 and 13. 11 was Derrick Rose. 10 and 9 were Bron. 08 was Kobe. 07 was Dirk. 06, 05 were both Steve Nash. 04 was KG. 03 and 02 were Tim Duncan. 01 was AI. 2000 was Shaq. 99 was Karl Malone in a lockout year. 98 was Jordan. 97 was Karl. 96 was Jordan. 95 was David Robinson. 94 was Hakeem. 93 was
Scalabrini.
93 was no, you about to make me blow it. 93 was Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah.
92 and 91 were both Jordan. 90 and 89 were Magic. 88 was Jordan. 87 was Magic. 86, 85, 84 were Bird. 83 was Moses Malone. 82 was Magic. Damn it. Damn it.
Who is 81?
81.
Who is 81?
I'm blanking.
Moses Malone.
I
don't know. Who is it? Who is it?
I really want to say it might have been Moses.
Bro.
80 was Kareem. 79, I want to say it was Bob McAdoo. Last one, like, starts to get.
That's crazy, bro.
Wow,
that might be a clip. That's a clip.
Okay, you talented and gifted.
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy.
Dang.
Bro, that's wild. What about championships? You probably know that.
Oh
too.
yeah, I could do
Okay.
that.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
much easier.
Because I've
That's
seen that.
easier.
I've seen a clip of some
Yeah.
kid doing that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not saying that Tay's, autistic, but
that was crazy.
but there was this autistic guy
Mm.
who could remember any Oscar winner,
Yeah.
and it was like a movie store, and I was like, oh, this guy's whatever. No, you can pick any date,
Yeah.
he'll do it, and they had like 3 videos of him that they picking
Yeah.
random
Hey,
dates.
I got one better. I used to work with this guy at the airport. He's kind of a strange fellow, but he was cool though.
Keep that hand
You-
straight.
You could tell him any date in history, and he will tell you the day of the week it was.
That's crazy.
I mean, going all the way, like say,
That's crazy.
what day was August 5th, 1862? That was a Thursday.
What the fuck? That's so crazy that some people's brains can, you know what I mean? That's so
Process
special.
all
It's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, how did your brain operate?
Yeah.
Everything was all good until the Lloyd Center.
Yeah, I went into it, it was already on a steep downhill decline.
Yeah.
Our first day was November 23rd, 2018.
Yeah.
By 2018, it was already it was a shell
Yeah.
of what it was. And, the reason why I got in there was a program called Lloyd Local. And what that was basically like a subsidized program to allow local vendors to lease a space in the Lloyd Center during the winter holiday months, so that during that holiday months it didn't look like there's empty spaces everywhere. It was so that everything was filled up, but it was supposed to be a temporary thing. But the store, there's Verizon Wireless was supposed to take our space, and so they always let me know, like, hey, don't get too comfortable type thing, like, Verizon's probably going to come take your space in the first quarter of 2019. And I was like, all right, cool, no problem. I'm month to month anyways, but they never showed up, and I think that was due to that decline of Lloyd Center. But we were the first in the door at the main entrance, right by Joe Brown's Caramel Corn. So that was just a beautiful place to be, and we're the first in. And then when people leave, we're the last store that they see.
Mhm.
So that was something that I think really worked in our benefit. But we ended up there for 4 years.
So what people really don't understand, because we're still respectfully transitioning out of that pandemic and everything in that manner, and the pandemic really gutted the Lloyd Center, and I'm just curious because, and I respect and understand that the pandemic allowed you to have opportunities, but you both and everyone there, you guys were still there. So my thing is, how did you as a business owner navigate the Lloyd Center? I have a question about that momentarily.
Yeah.
Passing, dying, and then dealing with a global pandemic and keeping your businesses open.
Yeah. I think one thing that we did well, 2 things. One was like, we had like I was saying, that we opened up that wall to consignment. We also opened up a wall, or not a wall, but we opened up the shop to consign old school sports vintage.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I think that transported people into a better time where, we're talking about the 2000s, we're talking about the 90s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are coming in and they're not in this like, current day contemporary pandemic world. They're like, oh shoot, they walked into this store and it's like, I'm walking back to a better time. Yeah. And so one, we did that well. And two, like, I think we really focused on providing like, a good customer service, an old school customer service where we cared about the people. When I used to go to Compound Gallery downtown and stuff back in the day, that was like, that was our streetwear mecca. And as a teenager, like that was everything for me. And at the time I wasn't buying nothing. And I think that the workers knew it. Yeah. And they would treat me like that. They knew I wasn't going to buy anything. They never said nothing to me. I think I, went in there a dozen times and maybe no one said nothing ever. And
sounds about right.
And so I always remembered that. And so, when opening the stores, like we wanted to flip that on its head and really, like get to know the people, because, you get to know the people first and then you treat them right and you have a good product or a product that's, reasonably priced. Bro, people aren't going to go the extra step to take care of the people. And that was something that, I took from just my experience of being a customer. And I think that also helped us in that time where it's like, damn, bro, like people couldn't really go nowhere. But like when they come to the shop and we're doing the free shop Friday and people are, bro, anyways, that's its own thing.
That used to pop off so much. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, bro, I know you've had it on here, but shout out Kay.
Bro.
I swear she must have hit at least 3 of them things
when
I was there.
Oh, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Bro, that was a crazy time, bro. That was a crazy time. Yeah, we would give out $100 bills cash, right? Not even store credit. Like as a business owner, that's not smart.
Hell no.
You know what I mean? That's not smart. But it was like we needed to get people in the door, and
sure.
It was a long shot. So it was like, probably 1 out of every 35, 40 people would hit it. Yeah. But I swear one day 6 people hit it. We gave out $600 bills, and I was like, we have to refine this. Yeah. We have to reduce this. This is not working. This is not working. But it was, bro, pandemic times were crazy.
And I ain't gonna lie, you got me one time. I went in there and I missed, but I ended up copping a Dodgers Letterman jacket. I still get compliments.
You Mickey'd them out, huh?
Yeah,
Mickey.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yep. All right, but earlier, bro, you were talking about going back in time. So I want to ask, what inspired the transition to, you have the flagship store in Lloyd, then opening up the second store on Hawthorne. I know it's called Back to the Basket now, but I don't know if you're allowed to talk about what it was previously called.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
You want to go into that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So even before it originally was called Ball Was Life, and that was a parody of, the big Los Angeles multimedia company, Ball Is Life. Everyone knows Ball Is Life. Everyone knows that one. But yeah, so it was like kind of like a parody of it where it was like Ball Was Life. So it's like the dudes, getting older, you know what I mean? Where you're like, oh man, I'm getting older, but I still got it. These young guys, so it was sort of this like satire sort of vibe. And that was the brand name. But Ball Is Life didn't like that. To make a long story short, they sent a cease and desist and we had to change the name. Yeah. So we had to change the name. And so that in itself is a long story, but we changed the name to Back to the Basket. There's about 50 different names I wrote down on a piece of paper, and there's a whole set of criteria that I built out. One of them was the name had to have some sort of basketball reference in the name. So Ball Was Life. Ball was the basketball reference. Back to the Basket. Basket was the basketball reference. The second thing was like the domain name had to be available.
Yeah. No, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like the domain name had to be available. And then the third one was I can't remember at the time, but anyway, so there was about 50 names, and came up with Back to the Basket, and
Yeah, no, I just want to bring that up because I remember actually when you posted the video, kind of explaining everything with the name change, and I ain't gonna lie, like, I felt for you because I know that can be difficult trying to do like in real time, but also that I was like it's cool because like my product is working, right? If this brand who's known nationally is peeping me all the way out here in the Pacific Northwest. Right. So, I just want to give you kudos for that.
Appreciate that, bro. I really do.
If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Right.
If you ain't got no haters,
bro, that's so true. That's so true. And I really had to because that was a tough thing to navigate, but that right there, what you said is like, that was something that I had to like really buy into because, it's true. It's true. And yeah.
It's the mindset, and it's so hard as humans where you have this one thing and you're set, like, I want to win. But I feel like the really good greats find other avenues of winning.
Yeah.
And they change their mindset where you look at, and I know you guys are going to get on me, we're going to use basketball reference, Devin Booker. He told the USA team, I'm going to do whatever you want. I'm going to be a shooting guard. Didn't complain, none of that. He just came in and did his job. And when you shift your mindset, you win in so many other ways. And I feel like we get so caught up in trying to win in a certain way. So it sounds astounding that you didn't let that totally drag you down. You're like, all right, we shift with the name, no problem.
There's a lot of basketball analogies I like to use, but it was like we just pivoted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was like, they sent that cease and desist, but we just pivoted into something else. And, it was like, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, I think a little bit with energy and stuff is they didn't do nothing but force us to change the name. The store is the same. The energy that we bring to the table every day, the energy that we give to the customers is still the same.
For sure.
So it was like nothing really changed, but maybe it gives us a little bit of momentum with the, we could spin this press and be like, oh, ball is life, bro. We're on the radar. So yeah.
And now I'm gonna challenge you a little bit on this because I didn't know, or I can't recall rather, how much of your staff you have now at Back to the Basket was there when you were still at Cultural Blends.
Yeah.
It seems as though now you guys have such a strong online presence. I want to ask, how much free reign do you give your staff to just go out and create, and how much of that is your creative input?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. At first, it was sort of more like, I've always had the guidance, right? The guidance. Okay, so this is how we're gonna conduct ourselves. This is the brand, and that was set, But at a certain point, it's like you have to give, anybody really, but if you want people to be creative, you have to give them space to create. Mm-hmm. And in that, it's like a coach giving a point guard, hey, this is the offense, and I know the offense, but shoot, if you see something and you want to go riff off that because I trust you. And so that's sort of like the relationship that we have right now. It's like, Jalen and Keyshawn, they've been killing it. They're like a 1-2 punch that have been killing it with the social media stuff. But they know when I put my foot down on something. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that is detrimental to the brand or whatever, they get it, and I don't even have to reiterate that. They just know at this point, if it even comes down to it, it's just sort of like a look, but it's not even really that anymore. It's sort of like because Jay's been there since day one. Jalen Thomas, if you guys don't know, he's on Instagram, you can follow him there. But man, he's seen the whole transition of the shop, and he's been a instrumental part of that transition. He's really good with the floor and just talking with people, but also the aesthetics of the shop.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So he's been there since day one, and then Keyshawn, he's seems like he's been there since day one. Mm-hmm. He's sort of a new guy. He's been there for a couple years, but they're doing their thing.
Bro, it'd be killing me when I watch some of their videos. It'd be like parody videos sometimes where it'd be like, hey, I'm a sneakerhead, so I was wondering, do you guys have some Panda Dunks or can I get some Concords or?
Oh my!
Yeah.
That impression.
Yeah.
Oh my! Stop.
It's something like that.
Since this is gonna be a basketball type episode, we got the puns. A great one said, "You wasn't shooting with me in the gym," and I don't want the listeners to bypass that gym that Tay set up and you just slam dunk. Meaning, what did it take for you to get to that mindset? Because we see how you finish, but from a business owner to give people creative control, what did you have to do individually to give them that trust?
To give them that trust, I think it was just over time. It was just over time. Even my hiring process is crazy different than anything you probably heard of. I've never looked at someone's resume that we've hired, not once. And honestly, I never asked for one. It was just off of feel. The people that we've brought into the shop is something that, either people that came to the shop and they would hang out and they're kind of like the shop homie. And it's like, dang, like, what do you do for work? You know, and then
Mhm.
figure out that, you know, they probably need a job or something. And it just worked out. But it's like, I always, you know, I'd always make the basketball references to, like, you know, when we're having these relations with people, like anytime, business, personal, whatever, it's a feel thing, right? It's like shooting a floater. And so I was always different in that regard. But as far as, you know, giving trust, it was like, you know, and it goes back to that sweat equity thing, is like when the people are there and they're putting in time making the TikToks, or they're cleaning the shop after their set hours, you know what I mean? It's like, that's sweat equity. And that's, like, to me, like, that's everything for real. That's like, that's the stuff, you know. It's like, if you're willing to show up not on time but early and, like, just get to it, it's like, bro, I see that, you know, everyone sees it, you know what I mean? But, like, that's the stuff. And so it's not like me giving trust, is like, they earned it, you know what I mean? Like, they is that's just what it was. That's what it is.
For sure. Now, you've posted about this recently within the last, I want to say, month and a half. And last time I saw you in the store, you mentioned this. I know you guys right now, because Kazi's not here, so he asked me to ask this on his behalf. You guys have been raising money through public investment. What are your plans with that funding source? And then what prompted or, you know, inspired that decision?
So it was a few things that prompted the decision. One of them was, you know, we were the first part of the year was sort of like, we were doing good, but it was like, man, we're not like growing, you know. So we needed a little infusion of capital. And so that was one thing. Second thing was this honeycomb. You know, honeycomb credit is sort of like a Kickstarter, if you will, where it is a social crowdfunding platform. However, you're not donating like Kickstarter or GoFundMe. You're actually like investing money and receiving a return. So for our campaign, is a 10.5% return of investment, and it's over 3 years, 36 months. So you're making like 3.5%. It's not great, you know what I mean? It's like a savings account, but if people have some extra funds and they believe in your business, then they ended up being a perfect investor. So so that was one of the decisions as well. Besides needing the money, you know, Honeycomb was a cool thing. I thought it would engage with our own customer base and let them feel like really tied in with the business. And of course, they want the business, the well-being, you know, to be there. So they're going to tell their peoples. And so I thought that was a win. And then also, what also was there was also one more thing that of course, it was, you know, doing this public campaign would allow conversations from private investors. And so we've already had a lot of people like, hey man, this honeycomb thing is good, but like, have you guys thought about having private investors? And so I've just been jotting down information and said, hey, we're not ready at this time, but I would love to jot down your information and I would love to talk with you further. So that was also a key thing, was like, hey, we want to let people know that we're serious and we're looking to expand the business, grow the business. And so we wanted to let people know that we're serious. And then, of course, after this 36 months, I'm sorry, this is long-winded, but after this 36 months, you know, and once we can prove that, you know, hey, all the investors got paid out, that's proof of concept. Like, that's proof of concept. And like, hey, now, you know what I'm saying? So that was like the decision process. And then we went and did the little campaign video. Was, you know, it was a real cute video, you know, it was emotional video, and you know, help our small business. You know, we love basketball, and so yeah, we were able to, our minimum goal was 25,000. We were able to get to 37, and so
that's fire.
Yeah, so that's cool. You know, we're using it for inventory purposes. Some of it's for video production, but most of it's for inventory, because a lot of the shop inventory is on consignment. And so we wanted to move a little bit further from that. It's just more profitable if it's stuff that we take on and then sell
directly. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So, at least for on my behalf, when it comes to investing, you talked a lot about connecting with customers, and as we kind of like branch out and move forward with the interview, my last question when it comes to investments and just the Lloyd Center in general, you're occupant, you're there. How do we save the Lloyd Center?
Dang, bro, I think it's past that, you know. I think it's past that, and it's awful to say, but you know, the it's crazy. On my very last day that I was at Lloyd Center, they handed me I handed the key back to them for our space, and at that time they told me what they were planning to do. It wasn't until I gave them my key they let me know, and I think it was sort of the timing was just, you know, in the right space, but it also was just like crazy timing. Like I gave them my key and they're like, yeah, you know, KKR Realty, you know, has bought the space or is going to buy the space, and you know, they're going to turn it into like a 3-part thing: residential, you know, housing, some office spaces, and some like, you know, bottom floor type coffee shop type things. And that's what they let me know. But you know, it was so far down the road where the Marshall's side of Lloyd Center was going to be where they would start the building process in 10 years. So, you know, I just didn't want to be a part of that, where it's like this continual decay. You know, up until that point, they had given me the hope that, hey, we have you know, programs in place and things in place to revitalize Lloyd Center. And they kept telling me that, like, hey, Troy, you're doing really great. Thank you for, you know, like, you know, talking about Lloyd Center, yada da. And we're gonna, you know, we're gonna do this. This is what we're gonna do next year. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you know, the business is still doing well, you know, but it just got to a point where, you know, there was just, you know, there wasn't a lot of hope left anymore. And it was just the right time for me to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and you were definitely selling the brand, and whether you knew this or not, anytime I would see you, I was always kind of ask you questions because, you know, just being from here, I'm curious as far as what's going on. You kind of tell me like little breadcrumbs, like, oh yeah, you know, stuff's rolling down, but yeah, it's not looking too good
you know,
right now.
for a long time, bro, I was definitely on the optimistic, you know, and I like to tell people, bro, we're the shop in the corner that was like holding the light up, you know. Like,
no, you definitely
bro,
were. That's serious, bro.
And that's what it felt like, bro. It felt like a burden. Like it was like, damn, because everyone's walking around like, I just walking around like a zombie, bro, and just like on some gloomy shit. And you know how that is, like, bro. It was emotionally sort of hard to like. All right, so our job today is when people walk through this door, we're going to uplift their spirits, and maybe, bro, they're going to find something. But if we uplift their spirits, bro, we have a chance. That was the whole game plan. That was the game plan, and it just kind of sort of became tiring, emotionally taxing, and shit, I needed to see the sun. I was in there so much, bro.
No, I believe you.
I needed to see the sun, bro. It was a lot, but
So what's been the difference as far as like being in the Lloyd Center versus being on street front on Hawthorne?
You know, that's a good question.
Culturally,
culture is completely different, bro. Culture is completely different. You have you have your vintage hipster, you know, Hawthorne area, and then you have Lloyd Center. Like it's just different. But I will say, man, it's a Lloyd Center is slept on, bro. The people that come into Lloyd Center and shop, because Hawthorne is an interesting spot because you would think, man, it's, you know, there's a whole bunch of people all the time. There's people on the weekend if it's sunny. If it's not sunny, I don't know, bro, but people still come into the Lloyd Center. Yeah,
that's crazy.
See, bro, Lloyd Center is slept on, and the rent at Lloyd Center is crazy good. So I told so many people to you know, get a space in the Lloyd Center, but they kind of waited, and then when I left, it's like, okay, more people came in, but yeah, no, it's Lloyd Center still slept on, but what I was trying to do, bro, is like I was having a kid at the same time as that second shop at Back to the Basket. And when I talk about that emotional tax, I was like, I just didn't have it in me, bro. I didn't have it in me. And so I just wanted to downsize, because like that 2020 and that 2021 bubble with the stimulus checks was really nice. But then once that, you know, tapered off, it was like, okay, well, we got to like really focus on just being slimmer, you know, with our overhead. And so that was, you know, that was part of that decision process.
Makes sense. Yeah. I actually have one more question. All right, well, it might go further, but we'll see. So I know we've been talking about basketball a lot. You've been doing a lot of work the last couple years up in Peepin with park runs here. So you want to talk about runs in the park and how that started and what it is for those that don't know?
Yeah. So I think it was 2016 or 2017. I just started this Instagram page called Hoops in the Park, and it was a glorified pickup basketball game at the park, and but it had nodes of networking, right? And it was founded off of the experience that I used to go to networking events, and at these networking events it was so awkward, you know what I mean? They were so awkward where people are just and everyone's sort of fronting and saying, oh, I do this or I do that and stuff, and I was just this little like, hey, I make t-shirts, you know what I mean? And so I always just felt like, bro, this is so whack, and it didn't get cool until people started drinking, and then I started like talking about the Blazers or started talking about basketball, and that's where like I made the connections. It was through basketball. I was like, oh shoot, like who's your team? And so that was sort of the birth of Hoops in the Park. But it's really a good run, man. It's one of the better outdoor runs in the city. We play at Colonel Summers, which is close to Back to the Basket. It's on 19th and Taylor. But yeah, it's Sunday run, 6:00. Sometimes in the winter time, or if it's raining out, we'll go to Boys and Girls Club on MOK and rent the space out, and it's like a $5 run because they charge us money. But yeah, I mean it's a good run, bro. We do little clips and stuff, and so people get their clips, but it's good, and people know that I'm pretty serious about like the good energy thing, and like LA Fitness and 24-hour fitness, they sort of breeds like a toxicity, and I just always was like, man, I always wanted to steer away from that. So Hoops in the Park has always had sort of this like, it has a good feel to it, and
now I got one follow-up.
Okay.
Now, Lil Birdie, he told me actually from this past year there was a person at Hoops in the Park who actually tried out for the Rip City remix. What was that about?
So that was Jalen Thomas. That was he's he's the co-owner now of Back to the Basket.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up, Jeff? But yeah, so they he's the one that's really just spearheading the social media thing. Yeah. And the Rip City remix, man, they charge what, $300 or $400 for tryouts.
Bro, what?
Zero people made it, bro. Zero people made it, right? There's like, I can't remember how many people were at the tryouts, but there was at least 300. But they invited Jay to come try out, and shoot a YouTube video. And so so he went and shot a YouTube video, and the crazy thing is like he's shooting a YouTube video and trying to do this, and also like, bro, these are some hoopers. Yeah, these are some hoopers, and there is, of course, granted, some people that shouldn't have been there, but there are some hoopers there, and so it was like it was a lot of pressure to ask of him, and he's not been training, he's just been working at the shop.
Yeah, and just some normal runs, but like I ain't locking in like I'm trying to get a job.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So he says that he didn't play very good, and I believe him that he didn't, but I know he still held his own, and I seen him get buckets. So
yeah, I don't know if you know what. You familiar with Dre McCown, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Didn't Dre try out?
I don't think he did, bro.
Okay.
I don't think he did.
All right, well, because I want to say, I watched the Rip City remix about 3 times this year.
Yeah.
I ain't going to hold you. I feel like there's at least 1 or 2 guards he for sure could have swapped up. But, that's neither here nor there.
Right. Hey, shout out to Dre.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And shout out to Rip City Remix for sponsoring the Play No Games podcast. We're looking forward to you this season.
Definitely.
Honestly, bro, they ought to. They ought to be, very creative and forthcoming with their sponsorships outwardly, instead of asking for sponsorships. They should probably I don't know.
If we wanna...
shoot some tickets to you guys or something.
Hey,
hey, by all means, if you
mean?
need some street, if you need some street content, just going into the stands.
Right.
Where you guys?
So, I was waiting for this part because when we had Hoops in the Park, right?
Yeah.
Networking and hooping. Now I've hooped in Philly. I hooped in LA. Networking and hooping.
Yeah.
It's just like you got people arguing over, you found me. So be real with me.
Yeah.
How have you managed the networking and then
the
hooping? Because people be like, I ain't gonna network with you. You call that phantom foul.
Right. You know what's funny is on the court stuff is on the court stuff. There's
Okay.
there is like an element of no, there's not an element of that. Hey, when you're on the court, bro, it's just you're on the court, bro. That's it. That's what it's come down to. But when you're off the court, bro, we try to stress like, shake people's hands and like, be cordial and stuff. When it's on the court, it's sort of understood that we let basketball be basketball, but when it's off the court, we got more important things. Nobody hears, or probably not, but nobody hears like making to the NBA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's some overseas people that pull up to hoops in the park, but it's one of those things where basketball is just gonna be basketball.
So there ain't never been a time where you just under your jersey was a referee jersey. He's like,
Nah, there definitely is, bro. There definitely is. There's definitely moments where, damn, I've sometimes been the person that's the culprit. You know what I mean? Oh, for sure, bro. I'm a dog on the court, bro.
Okay.
Bro, if you didn't know, like, people at Hoops in the Park know, but like, I'm not gonna get into it too crazy. But yeah, the pitbull's here. So yeah.
Okay.
No, it's real. Cause like, I mean, being a smaller guard, you can't. Like, forget my French, but you can't be no bitch at all.
No, I would be classified as a smaller guard, and I agree with that as well. Because people, look at my stature, and I'm like, look here, I guard 1 through 5.
But like in the Pacific Northwest in general, I just feel like we produce some of the best guards. Period. Like between here to Seattle, like there's a lot of slept on talent.
Right. Shout out to Seattle.
Yeah.
Maybe holding it down.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie though, even here though, like it may not be all NBA guys, but whether it's like Andrew Andrews, Vic Sanders, Silas, Jazz Johnson, like there's a lot of dudes who like put in serious work overseas right now.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's
James.
and that's without saying Mike, because I mean that's like a
Yeah.
He's on a different shelf.
Yeah, I'm saying,
respectfully,
yeah. Because like he could really be in the league if he felt like just being the 10th guy. But
he don't want to play that role when he's number one.
I was like, bro, he's be a rock star over here or worry about trade deadline stuff
that would be annoying.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
He did that already with.
I was like, he's done it multiple times now.
Yeah.
So because Tay has this segment, we have guests now. One of the things that I specialize in do in the podcast is, I'm a big relationship guy because I feel like as men, we have to have like very balanced and moderate types of like conversations about it, because each day you get up on Instagram, it's men versus women, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And I feel like it takes it away from people wanting to create families. And when I talk to men, they always have these dreams and they have families and they stop chasing their dream because they got to focus on their family. And I want to ask you, how do you balance having a family and running a business? How do you do that?
Doing the best that you can. There's like, I don't know if there's a secret. If there is, I don't know. It's doing the best that you can, because most of the time for me, it's like, dang, I'm really like putting more of my energy towards this business, like I haven't even thought of the needs of my partner. I haven't thought of like, like, dang, did I even call did I call when I should have called, when I'm at work and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. That's a great question. And I don't have the answer to it. But just what I try to do is just do the best that I can. And I'm just trying to do that every day.
No, I appreciate you saying that. And I appreciate you saying you don't have all the answers. And I love people who kind of have that self-awareness, because in so many ways, life is about balance. And, I feel like each day you wake up, that's a new day for you to try something new. And like, obviously, everyone's still great and you're trying to find that. And I think the try is what really makes a businessman and a man.
Yeah, shit, I'm trying. Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. I'm just, it's like, dang, you look at your kid and it's like, man, it's a beautiful thing to just watch that little human develop. And so it's like, damn, you want the best for that, so it's like, dang, I got to nurture this business and I got to nurture this kid. And it's like, well, if it means not sleeping, or just having a quick nap and then getting back to it after they fall asleep, you just got to do what you can and do the best that you can.
Will they be hooping?
Oh yeah. Oh, my son's a hooper, bro. And so I'm like 5'9". I'm like 5'8" 3/4.
Yeah.
Right? My girl's like 5'8".
Okay.
So
Okay.
you know what I mean? He might be 6'2",
Yeah.
Like, and so he's already showing like he's sort of like he's big body.
What?
And Yeah.
What? You got him lifted already?
Nah, man, he's just he's just solid, bro. He's solid, and he's a hooper, and he just loves to be outside. So yeah.
I don't know what your long-term plans are, like business-wise, but I'm just gonna ask, please, at least in his early childhood, keep the store around as much as possible, because I can't imagine how dope it would have been, like growing up and just be able to walk in somewhere like, oh, here's my dad's. It's my dad's store.
1000% yes.
I think he's starting to understand, because I asked him the other day. I was like, Dada, Dada sells shoes and like basketball stuff, and he's like, yeah. He was just like, yeah, like I know, like, but he knows the shop and stuff, but like, he grasps the concept of a customer, because I'll have like boxes of stuff that I ship out, and so like he'll sometimes, before he would pick them up and throw them and stuff, and I was like, hey, that's for our customers, and so he picks them up, and then he looks at me, and then he puts it back down, like he gets it, like he knows this, he doesn't understand it, but he knows it's important to me, and so that's really cool. But yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's so fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, am I good to go?
All you.
All right, bro. So it's my favorite time of every episode I do with a guest. It's actually pretty on brand right now because of what you do. So I play this game with our guest called Shot Clock. All right.
Okay.
So pretty simple game. It's gonna be rapid fire questions. Some of them are just gonna be kind of like this or that. So for example, if I ask you which color you prefer, red or blue, you're gonna say
cool, blue.
Okay, so you get it. It's real simple, okay? All right, so let me know when you're ready. We can get started.
Ready.
All right. So we're going to throw you softball one real quick. All right. Who's the GOAT, LeBron or Mike?
Mike.
Thank you.
Better Blazers team, early 90s or early 2000s?
Early 90s.
Early 90s. Okay, where? Who has the hottest sneaker in the game right now, Vomeros or Sambas?
My fault. We're supposed to do this quick. I'll go Sambas.
Man.
Real.
I mean, I think they have more units sold. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
man, from what I see on Hawthorne, you know what I mean? There's Sambas everywhere.
I ain't gonna lie. I just caught 2 pair. They pretty comfortable.
Right?
Yeah.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah. All right. Just 2 more questions. Okay. Better era for apparel and jerseys, 90s or 2000s?
Apparel and jerseys. Oh, it's tough to say, man. I'm gonna go 90s.
90s, real.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Got 2 options. You could either have a lifetime contract with any sneaker brand in your store, and any sneaker brand out, and you could be their exclusive distribution site.
Got it.
Or you play garbage time of one NBA game.
Garbage time.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I'm on that court.
I respect it.
I'm
Bro, the shoes would probably be very lucrative and good for business, but man, that's just such a dream, bro. And I shot that one from the hip. So if I think it over, I'd probably go the other way.
No, you got it. We already got a clip.
Bro, I need to be on the court, man. That'd be like some Dan Dickow minutes. You know what I mean? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things I had to ask you too is as well, just because we're gonna close out, but this is where like we'll let the hair down, less questions, just more bullshit.
Yeah.
In loving basketball, did he throw that game or did she win that game?
Did she win that game? We're talking about
For his heart.
Oh,
That's such a trash movie too, by the way.
Wait,
Stop
hold on. Okay, so I got to go back to the court, right, between the houses, and your question was, did he throw that game or did she win that game?
Yeah.
She won that one?
Bro, I swear, no, I think he kicked her ass.
Yeah, didn't he? Yeah, he won the game.
Yeah, because she was like double or nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I don't know how to answer it now.
My brain. Anywho, that was gonna be the setup to what are your top 3 iconic basketball movies? Okay, that's mine. That was mine.
So
Loving
funny, bro.
basketball.
I just watched Blue Chips for the first time, probably like a month ago.
You uncultured swine. What?
Wait, I haven't seen it.
Crazy.
You uncultured swine. What the hell?
I just watched Blue Chips for the first time because people would come into the shop like, oh man, Blue Chips. And I'd be like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I watched Blue Chips. Great movie. I don't know if it's top 3. It's probably going to be He Got Game at number 1. Probably Loving Basketball at number 2. And 3.
Boom.
3. Third one. Shoot, there's a couple good ones. Dang, bro.
I mean, you got Coach Carter, you got Above the Rim, you got I'm not blanking, bro. I'm not blanking. Glory Road. That's one I know a lot of people like.
I don't think Glory Road gets talked about enough.
It don't.
Such a powerful movie.
I know it's probably. I don't know if either one of y'all saw this. It's based off a true story. Hurricane season. It's about John Aaron High School when Hurricane Katrina came through, and they kind of salvaged the season. Forrest Whitaker would play the head coach. I forget the man's name. Forgive me, but yeah.
Yeah, fire. I would say I kind of have a sleeper third.
Hoosiers.
Not
another
Hoosiers. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Eddie. Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg.
Okay,
because they used actual NBA players for.
Oh, what, bro? Space Jam. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, Space Jam's in there.
Yeah.
Eddie's top 5.
Whoopi Goldberg has a basketball movie.
Eddie, she was a coach. She coached the New York Knicks. Bro, I'm telling you, it's a sleeper.
Wait, why do I actually? I actually faintly remember this now.
No.
Yeah, bro. Malik Sealy's in it. Brian Grant's in it with the short hair before he had the dreads. Man, it's a great movie. Rick Fox plays a big role in it.
Yeah, no, I faintly remember this now.
I don't remember. I should remember that.
She's the coach of the New York Knicks, bro. You gotta watch it.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like.
There's a lot of good basketball movies.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like top 10, you gotta throw Air Bud in there.
I was like Air Bud. The thing is, with like hella basketball movies, they be like bordering on either comedies or serious dramas. So I don't know how to like pocket them. Like Loving Basketball, it's damn near not even a basketball movie to me. It's just a relation. It's a friendship situationship playing out, and you know.
Right. Zeke McCall. You know?
Right. I think there's like a movie fact. I think Spike was saying that before Ray Allen played Denzel, like he like told him, "Oh, I can't go left," and he practiced.
That's right. I just saw
that. I was like, "Oh my god, this makes this movie 10 times better." Right. Because Ray Allen was thinking like, "Oh, I'm gonna score all these points on him," and he's like, "Nah." Denzel was like, "I'm about to get a couple points."
Oh yeah. No, Denzel actually like is pretty decent at hooping.
See, that's the stuff. Yeah. Now that's movie fact.
And you know, Kobe was actually supposed to play that role originally.
No.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, you're a fucking liar.
I swear to you, he was
no glaze.
No glaze. I mean, bro, I ain't got no reason to cap right now. He was actually supposed to play that role originally.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy. Yeah. I think Ray Allen did fantastic.
No, exactly.
Honestly, Kobe's personality, I don't know if I could see him in that role per se.
Be a little awkward, yeah. Nah, I think Ray did great. I mean, damn, Rosario Dawson in that movie too.
It's fine as hell.
Oh my god, bro! In the beginning, and obviously the college scene, but like, man, Rosario Dawson,
Ferris Wilson,
right? Like, just that.
Really quick, I didn't see this. I don't know if you guys did the Air movie, the Jordan shoe movie.
That was fire. Yeah.
Legitimately.
One time.
Yeah, one time. It wasn't. Like, it's not a basketball movie, but it's just kind of weird for me. Or I don't know, enlightening, because I know actually like some of these people like Howard White and my grandfather relationship. Yeah. So it was kind of crazy, like seeing this story that I've heard about from different people play out in real time. And you know, Chris Tucker, I feel like he did a good job playing Howard. And just like, you know, it kind of shined a light on Portland and just, you know, Ordnance importance to basketball culture in general.
Yeah.
Now, my last like bullshit question, because this is how the podcast goes. We just shooting shit.
I love it.
I'll be honest with you, man. In our lifetime, will the Blazers win a championship?
Hell no.
Won't you be honest?
In our lifetime?
In our lifetime.
Shoot, I plan on living for at least 50 more years. I would say yes. We have to win one. We have to win. Hopefully Earth, you know.
Call the aliens.
Yeah.
Call the
man, that would be great. But we have to get rid of we have to get new ownership. You know?
Okay, no, I have a question. I'm gonna push back on that. I'm gonna push back on that.
I was waiting for this. I'm super sorry.
People always go that and say, you know, they hope Paul Allen, or not Paul Allen, but Phil Knight buys a team.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's never owned a sports team, so what's people's infatuation with?
He owns the Ducks.
He doesn't own the Ducks.
In quotation.
They've never won shit either. So what difference is?
That's why we got unlimited NIL money.
That's right.
And guess what? We about to get a championship.
Yeah.
Bro, they not coming out here, G.
Yes, they
But
are.
football is one in the trenches. You're not convincing no 6'7", 310-pound offensive lineman from Georgia or Alabama to move out here, unfortunately.
This guy.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about football. So
Y'all used to sell some fire football merch though. I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of mad when y'all.
No, I think we did, but it was man. I just
that one negative comment was him.
Yeah.
No. Now let me ask you this though. All right, so you're GM or de facto owner. What are you doing to change the team right now to get it on a better track? And clip this because
This is perfect. This is perfect. Easel out. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta get the close up.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic question. I would say right now with our team, it's refining all of our processes and figuring out as like putting it into basketball perspective, which personnel does what best and when best. We have some folks, like let's say one person right now works 5 days in the shop, and they are doing a crazy good job with inventory. They're doing a crazy good job with the tech stuff, with socials, that type of thing. Getting them outside of the shop, so less time working, speaking with customers on a day-to-day basis, and more, after hours working to do inventory and stuff. Figuring out what we need to do with the pieces that we have. That's sort of where we're at right now, is just becoming more efficient. Right now it's like we're doing things well. How can we do things even better? And so that's where we're at, and it includes myself, of course. So figuring out how I can be effective, and also spend time with my family. Yeah. But yeah, it's just figuring out. It's knowing your personnel and your team. Yeah.
So, using that, how would you, if you were the owner or GM of the Blazers, what would you do to kind of get them on track in terms of like personnel decisions?
I would probably uproot the old, and try to find a new home for Anthony Simons. And also, who else am I thinking?
It's crazy we saying when he's like 23 years old.
He's 25. He's 25, but he comes from that.
The old regime, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like the ex-girlfriend.
The last little.
Yeah, you kind of cut off relations with the brother and the sister. Like you have to. I would say he probably needs to move on, and we have to focus on this core, and then they're all going to be on the same page. Like Scoot's been here for what? A year. Yeah. Shaden for 2. So it's like everyone's going to be on the same page, so to speak. We can't have people that's been here for 7 years, and someone that just got here. I don't know. I just feel like you sort of need a new crop coming in. So
is DeAndre Ayton a part of that? Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I think he's going to force the trade very, very, very soon.
Absolutely not. I know he wants to play the power forward role, but man, with Klingon and stuff, I just DeAndre Ayton seems like a great person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just can't get through snow.
Hey, bro.
Who knows? Who knew that was his kryptonite?
Right. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? I just don't see it.
Yeah. Best of luck to y'all. My team, we looking at possibly going back to back after all the BS.
Oh Lord.
Kerr put some of my players through this past summer, so
Nike might try to,
Who's your team?
Bro, I've been a Celtics fan. I've bought.
You're the
I bought so much merch from you over here.
I was like,
hey Troy, ask him if he's been to Boston real quick.
That's crazy. You're a Boston fan, bro.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Hold up, let's do this.
Yeah.
What's your football team?
Huh? I fucking hate you.
What's your football team?
I'm a Colts fan.
Have you been to Indianapolis before?
Damn.
I have.
No, you have not. No, you haven't. Yeah, exactly.
See, I have contingency plans for the bullshit. You don't.
That's funny. You're a Celtics fan? That's wild. How did that come to be?
Oh, here we go.
Bro, I was like 6 years old. Honestly, it was just the first team that I could identify, like team in green. It just is what it is. And then once I got to like 7, 8, and I played biddy ball when I was 5, but once you start playing team ball like 6, 7, 8, I'm actually starting to grasp the concept of basketball. Paul Pierce was just one of my favorite players growing up.
Yeah.
I'm a shorter guy, so like him, Penny, that's why I asked you about the magazine.
Right.
T-Mac, like bigger wings, guards that could just do a lot of stuff. It was appealing to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, him and do you remember
Antoine Walker? Yeah.
That was a
lot of people don't know we actually had Chauncey at one point.
Yeah,
Bro, or like him, Joe, or Paul, Twan, and Joe Johnson were all on the same team together.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Joe Johnson's been around forever.
Yeah. So I ain't gonna lie, he could probably still give somebody a cool 10 minutes right now.
Oh, definitely.
If you give him like 5 months to train.
Definitely. I feel like later in his career he's in better shape than he was.
Yeah, he looks swole. No, him and who another one? Mike Bibby. Jesus.
Well, Mike Bibby's steroids.
I think he might be on steroids though.
Mike Bibby's on steroids.
To
see it in the face.
Took that LeBron Miami package.
Yeah.
Maybe he was hanging out in downtown Portland.
Yeah, 24 hours, something. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say this. Thank you so much for taking the time. Busy man, and just once again, keep it going.
Thank you, bro.
And I hope people really get to see a different side of you with this interview. Yeah, the business, but like when it comes to the passion, literally, that, in my opinion, that energy has protected so many things that you've done in the past and will carry you forward.
I appreciate it, bro. That's crazy that you say that because, like, you know how we've never met in person? I feel the same way, I feel the same way, and I think people do see that, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you saying that. That's crazy. Appreciate it, bro. Thank you, bro.
Nah,
that's crazy, bro.
I appreciate you coming on, though.
Yeah,
for
absolutely,
real.
bro.
My dog.
Appreciate you, bro.
Man, if y'all like what we doing, like I say this every time from the bottom of my heart, I'm trying to, help me pay my friends. We about to get out of this 9 to 5, and I want to keep bringing you guys stories like this because there's so many dope people around Portland who put in that sweat equity, and I believe everyone's story needs to be shared. So if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe. It's easy, it's free, and this is another dope installment of the Play No Games podcast.
Yeah, we out.
Peace.
Probably wondering if I think of you. Sorry, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, I'm for the bag right now. Yeah, for the bag that I never had. Yeah, you probably mad right now. Yeah, I got a 2-piece now. Shit, I think they call them groupies now.